So, nice to have you here with us to have a nice conversation about this will be I don't turn back to the lady. A conversation about, we'll try to have a conversation about a topic that we wanted to kind of, there's always discussion about this topic about, you know, ladies and gents, relationships, the energy, attitude and stuff, but we never kind of had it under one roof. I wanted to give it kind of umbrella that we have a point of reference where we speak about. So we had this idea of a gentleman, as we think we need to start by ourselves, and then kind of having a role that we strive for, and to discuss this role and idea and how we should act in our mutual relationships, and also how we should, guys, help ourselves to be the better version of ourselves. So I guess you read it all in the webpage, and I'm now glad that we have here our guests. The one is late. And actually I thought that this one will be the first one because he's the youngest. So I don't know what's happening to this generation, but he's coming. He's coming. We will not ask him for the reasons. I will do that backstage. Anyway, thank you for coming to discuss this. It's going to be a conversation. I'll try to have my dear friends here to speak about their experiences, and I'll start by presenting them. Paola, Lore, okay, sorry. I always have problem with Portuguese. I can do Italian and Spanish names, but Portuguese. Yes, and Ricardo Souza from Afro-Latin Connection. They teach kizomba, and they will also give us perspective also from this kizomba world. Trevor Anthony, a friend that became a very good friend with time. I respect a lot, and not only me, but girls and also guys, for the values he embeds. And actually, yesterday, Tigere, after the class, told me Trevor is a true gentleman in the message. I didn't ask for it. So, Trevor Anthony from UK, welcome guys to have you here. And I will present Roger when we come. So, let's then start. And of course, I'll give space for the audience to ask questions. So let's see where we'll go. Laura. Paola. I will start with you. Look, I will start with yourself. So, is it this theme, Return of the Gentleman, that we're speaking about? Is it just about like made up story, or is something that is worth talking about?
I think we can talk about it, and we should talk about that, because it's being a gentleman for me. It's not the most important thing. Is the guy that opened the door to me, the guy that let me pass first. For me, there are nice things that I like, but for me are not the most important things. Yes, for me, being a gentleman is like he needs to take care of himself, of his hygiene, because our freedom, in my point of view, stops when the freedom of others start. Then if you, as being a guy, and we are so close in this dance, we should take care of our hygiene and everything. For me, I love when I kiss a man and he's smelling very good. When I hug a man and he's not sweating and making me putting my shirt wet, yes, because of his sweat. For me, a gentleman is when he takes in consideration of when he knows that he sweat a lot, he brings shirts to change during the party, because it's normal and it's healthy when we sweat. Yes? Yes?
So I hope guys are paying attention and writing notes, huh?
Yeah. Another thing is because of the dances that as modas de agora. The trends of the dances now, the man put the leg of the lady up and everything without taking in consideration what she have she's wearing. Yes. Sometimes we have very short dresses, and you do that, and no, or. Sorry, but I don't like if a guy puts a guy that I'm not so comfortable with him, I don't know him so much, and he puts his hand on my leg when I don't have trousers. Sorry, but for me, skin with skin is my leg, you know. In this, I'm a little bit old-fashioned, yeah. And guys, we have our hair, yes, and mine like this. If you put your head here with the sweat, you know what happens, yes? We take lots of time to put ourselves pretty, yes? And if we, in just one dance, the first dance, it happens already with me. I'm with perfume, I'm all beautiful, and then on the first dance, I get a mess, I get the smell in my shirt and everything. Then that's why it's very important. It's natural, we are human beings, it's okay, but we have a party and we have to be nice and smelling good, not smelly, smelling good to the people that we are dancing. Because of this, our freedom stops when starts the freedoms of the others, yes? And there are lots of things, but the things on the dance, applying on the dance for me, I'm remembering this. And it was a time, I know, dance, we get enthusiastic, yes, and we are having fun and we are happy, but it happens in one place, many years ago, that the place, it was hot, very hot, and the place were not having the AC working. It wasn't enough, and the humidity was, the floor, you cannot imagine how was it, yes? It was dirty, melty, wet, everything. And I was with a white dress. And the guy wanted to do a drop, putting this part of my leg on the floor. And I was, you know, the fishes when are out of the water. And I was like, he was doing the, no, he's not going to do that. No. Oh, yes, and no, please, no. I'm in white. There are things that you don't do on purpose, we don't do on purpose, but we need to take care and we need to take that things, small things in consideration, yes? And that's it.
I think you said so many things that we need like
and
each one of them. Each one, so many things. But while I have you here, this is all no-go things for guys. Can you give us a short what you appreciate for the guys? So maybe to talk about
in the positive way.
In the positive way, so the guys don't feel like, oh, I'm doing all the things wrong, but maybe, you know, what you appreciate of the guys, because I would love that we talk about things that lift up the guys. If we tell, it's like telling all the, I mean, the guys and it's all, we have this kid inside, of course, and when you put like this too much, then it gets us stressed. So the idea would be that we try to also talk about positive things, of course, with our experience, but when it comes from the lady, it helps us a lot. So what about these one or two things that you really appreciate with the guys?
Yeah, I already spoke about the smelling good, taking care of the hygiene, a good hug, being nice. I love when I say hello. I think English people are very polite in this, when British, because it's ladies and guys. But the guys, and I love it, that is, hello darling, how are you? Feeling good? Yes, the way that they speak is very, very nice. And I feel with you, and I stay melty like this. Oh, it's so nice, yes?
So let's then, let them point then to the Trevor. Obviously, Trevor, you are either a smooth talker or what is the secret then?
Well, I mean, firstly, one of the things I'd like to say is that it's really great when you have someone like Vladdy and this organisation embracing this whole subject, because you know, they do have a duty of care, and it's great that organisers show that duty of care, because you know, we all, you know, people pay a lot of money to come to these festivals, and it's great that the organisers look after all their whole welfare. And one of the things I'd like to say is, for me, with regards to ladies, I was always taught that the man is the frame and the lady is a picture, and that's how, and that's.
Yep. Let me. It's good that I have a camera so I can study at home. You know. Yes. Sorry to interrupt you. We are recording this session, so it's going to be on YouTube. So watch what you ask. Sorry, Trevor.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. For me, that's how I was always taught when I first started to learn to dance about 15 years ago, and it's a concept I've always carried. So for me, I always say to the guys, it's our job to make them look good, you know, and then they're happy. And if they're happy, it makes everybody else happy, you know. So that's really my theory, you know. And you know, we had a discussion yesterday with some of the guys, and we were, you know, one of the things for me also was that we were just talking about how sometimes, you know, God, I try to dance with everybody. I try not to sort of make any distinctions. Anybody who wants to dance. And the other thing I try to do is that you will get, when you look around the dance floor, there's some people that are not dancing, you know, and most ladies, they judge their festival on how many dances they have. You know, and so I always think it's important to just give, especially the beginners, just give them a bit of time and just spend some time dancing with them. You know, I think that's really important. I hate to see people standing around and not dancing. I find that quite incredible that you know, I've known people come to a festival and actually not have a dance. And that's sacrilege. That should not happen. Yeah, you know, so for me that's really important. That's really important that we just give a little bit of time to everybody, because the one thing I say to everybody is that we were all once beginners. Everybody was a beginner, you know, and you think about it. And you know, I do understand for the guys that when they're actually coming up, it is a struggle because we have to lead, you know. So because we have to lead, it's you know, it can be a lot more difficult for us to learn, you know. And sometimes, you know, I've been in classes where you have like around the first week you have about 40 guys in the class for the beginners, and then by the end of the month you've got like 4 or 5. You know, because men, when they can't do something, you know, especially where ladies are around, men are easily intimidated, yeah. And they try to hide this macho image, but really, men are quite intimidated by ladies. They really are. You know, so yeah, it's just don't
disclose every secret. Come on. There needs to be some mystery. Come on, you'll spoil everything for us. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Let me introduce Roger Krakow. Roger, just tell me you're late because you worked so hard dancing with all the ladies, so you just need a little bit more rest. Roger from UK goes by the name Cavalier, and I'll just ask a few more so you get a little bit into the subject, and then I'll have questions for you. Thank you, Trevor. Please don't disclose, as I said, the mystery. Keep something.
We'll come back to a few more.
Yes. So before we go to the Roger, I would like to also ask a certain thing to Ricardo. I know Ricardo for some time, and although sometimes, most of the times, we see each other in our events, and he goes to do the business I told him to do, and he does it really well. And I go my own business, so we don't have too much time to interact. But I see him. I see him, and I see him at other events. Even if we don't have too much time to talk, and I notice with you certain traits you embody, which I see, and with time I appreciate. And I see how other people walk around you, how you communicate with people at the dance floor, with people that are at the workshops. But also you like to, when you go outside, let's say a cigarette or something, you like to lead interesting conversation. You like to kind of engage with people. You don't like to impress. It's like, think that maybe you left somewhere at the time. Or have you been, so my question is, you feel very relaxed, confident, you're not extrovert, but you have this magical attraction. Is this something that is like a character trait, or is something you built up? Because as far as coming from a guy perspective, it's something that it's kind of, you know, if you have son or somebody that you kind of like, you said, look, it would be nice that he has these parts of Ricardo or Trevor or something. So obviously something is good. So what is this? How can you explain this?
It's very handsome.
So that's it.
I smell good also. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Vlad, for making this happen. It's very important to give space to these kind of talks. Unfortunately, not the number of people that would be expected are here, but you are here, and thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm used to lead. Since my childhood, I remember being on the, how do you say, the playground, playground, to have 5 years old and to manage my colleagues to do like small theaters and giving them roles. And so since a young age, I remember myself in a leading position. And a fact is that we opened our company and our first dance studio and our first club, and immediately the biggest Afro-Latin club in Portugal in terms of area, in Porto, in 2006, and I had the age of 20 years old. So since my childhood, I feel more comfortable with older people. I like to be around with people that like to have a good conversation, constructive conversation. Also have my time of stupid things, of course, but like you said, I don't consider myself the spotlight in a party, for example. I like to be the spotlight on a stage. I like to be the spotlight during a workshop, but I'm very shy. I like to have my time to be on the corner and to look around and to don't be so much in the middle of the mess. Maybe because of also the examples that I have, and my biggest example is my father. Although my father is the center of the attention wherever he is, he's a very responsible guy. He's a guy that works through goals. He have a very ethical presence in life, in terms of personal life, but mainly in terms of professional life. Last Wednesday, we made a surprise dinner in our club, Mushima, to celebrate 50 years of Toyota for my father. So he's working for 50 years in the same company. And he started as a kid of delivering message at the age of 14, and he was growing step by step. He don't have a degree of study, so he understood that if he didn't know how to speak in English, he would not be able to conquer new spots on the company. So he starts studying in the night, and he learned how to talk in English. And nowadays he don't have a boss in Portugal, so his boss is in Toyota Europe in Belgium. So for me this was a big role model of how to build something with ethic without passing on the top of the others, but with very precise goals and objectives to be able to reach. And that, I think, our career is a little bit, it's really an example of that. So that is something that I have it in my ADN, for sure, for my ancestors, for my parents, for the people that I was living with, my references, and mainly because I love to be between people, but my biggest satisfaction is to see others enjoying something that I helped to construct. So being able to be on this community for so many years and returning to certain festivals year after year, for us it's the best. Listening compliments like you are saying, that it's not because you are the biggest party monster, but because you are constant, because when I send you a message and I need a quick answer, I get that answer. When including my brother and Katarina that represent our brand, they need to go anywhere, they do a representation of what it is ALC and not just an individual person. So that's why we present ourselves as ALC, or Afro-Latin Connection, not as Paul and Ricardo, because we have this idea of creating something to the future bigger than ourselves. A brand that represents standards, that represent ethic, that represent a mission, and want to let a legacy on our community. And we feel very proud that we are able to say that our work is already written in the history, and I truly believe that we can still help many more situations to be able to go in the better way. So thank you for your words.
No, thank you. Yes, and actually I'm happy you sent this message, because a lot of people ask us how do we choose the artists for the events. And yes, we need to have the craziness, we need to have all the glitters, all the sparklings of dance, extroversion, happy to project happiness. But we need to also have a kind of, I would not say control, but I would say we need to have a certain limit to where something begins and ends. And we need something that you said, it called ethics, and this social part of our dancing that needs to have a culture in our community, because without it, if it's only dancing, then there's no limits. And we see things happening that are maybe out in the extremes, that are maybe not as they should be. So that's why discussion, and that's why artists like yourself are here to have. Because for us is, yes, we have big events and everything fun and so on, but we feel that we need to have this role of sending out a message about the social part of the dancing, about the culture of the dancing, about the ethics, about the relationships, so everybody, as Trevor said, feels safe, comes here and want to come here again. So that's one of the reasons, we wanted to talk about, because on the workshops you always have dancing. And the social, well, everybody knows what social. At the end, when you look at it, a lot of things are happening, and maybe we should talk about the social aspects of it. That's why we talk about the social aspect of this, not just the dancing part. So that is the idea, that we try to at least communicate in a conversation, because of course nobody likes to be told what to do, what not to do. But if we talk about it, and in a conversation, I don't like, like Laura said, this is making me uncomfortable. And you think, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. So that's thank you guys for being constant in your ethics and stuff. We need this, and you'll always be welcome here. So Roger, hello. Thank you for coming here. You are the youngest of all the guys, of all the panel actually, and for a reason, because you kind of on this panel you represent the bachata community. You dance bachata, and not only any bachata, sensual bachata. And now there's a lot of controversy around that, but let me first ask you, can a young guy embody the traits of a gentleman? I mean, you are, can you disclose years? In a 20-ish.
Yeah, everyone.
On the lower 20.
I'm actually not. I'm 35. Yes.
Hey!
Yes, but I have a young spirit.
Okay, then I'll call somebody else. Wait.
Yeah,
okay.
It's every time I say it. But I think I'm young, maybe in spirit. Apologies for being late. I think yesterday I didn't realize how tired I was. I went through the whole night. I tried to dance with everyone, especially in the first nights when I still have energy. And this morning I went through 3 alarms. None of them I heard them. So apologies for that. But I'm here. So yeah.
We have videos, so I will check if you read.
Yes, video in the room. Yeah, so I think there's no age for being a gentleman. So one thing, for example, I learned when I was very, very little, and then it's such a little thing, but I started doing it since I was a kid, and it's a very, very, sometimes maybe even silly, but when you walking on the road, and then you have the lady on the left, no, on the side of the road. That's something I've been doing since I'm a kid, and now it's like a habit. And then every time I do it now, which is nowadays, roads are safe. You don't need to do that. I learned that from my grandpa when roads were not as safe as they are now. Now when I do it, everyone is like surprised, and it's like a habit. I don't even do it on purpose. I don't think about it. I just like walk on that side, and then ladies look at me funny when I do it. So I think since I was very, very young, I grew up with all of these values. My mom, she's been an amazing influence. My dad as well. So I think there's no age. There's no age for being a gentleman. And if you do something that, because I don't know, some of you, I probably recognize maybe two faces here. So I don't know how, and of course the organizers, so I don't know how much you know me, but if you see me on the dance floor, you might get the wrong image. Because when I'm in a dance floor, yes, it's a sensual bachata style, but it's also very intimate. It's very, some people might call it like, I don't know, aggressive, sometimes even when I dance. But then when you talk to me, you realize I'm just a normal guy. Sometimes I can even be shy. Believe it or not, I have confidence, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm that guy that's dancing. That's a style. That's something that when I started dancing and I saw this style for the first time, because in Latin America it doesn't exist, and I saw it, I was like, wow. I want to do that. That's really what got me the passion for sensual bachata. So now every time I dance, I cannot see myself dancing in a different way, unless they're playing Dominican bachata, and then I can, I smile and that. But yeah, I think you have to. I believe you cannot just go by others' opinion. You have to go with what you like, the style that you really feel. Otherwise, you don't look authentic when you are. And then that's one thing when you're dancing. And then as a person, I think you should also be yourself. But then you have that element of kindness that I think we all need to make a better scene, not only in the dancing, but in general, in a social environment. I think we all need to be kind to each other.
Now, it's great that you touched upon your passion for the sensual bachata, and actually you touched upon the next question I wanted to ask you, and also concerns kizomba, and that is about when there was salsa, us older remember that, only salsa. At least in my ears, it didn't come. Look, I don't dance bachata sensual. I try to work with the lady when she starts. I try to not to disturb too much, so I follow the move. However, I do not really know how to lead it properly. But when there was salsa, I didn't hear so many of, I don't feel good when he does that, or So I feel that with kizomba, and maybe more urban kizomba, and with sensual bachata, we got into the space where this intimacy became closer. The lines have started to, in between the partners, really kind of blurry. So is this you are an expert, obviously, you said that you're expert in this, I understand it's your style. I understood what you said, that it's your style that you feel the best. It might look from the side, but you dance it the way how you feel it, but you respect the partner. However, that's yourself. But somebody watching from outside, the guy, oh, he does that, and he does it with a different intention. Do you see the problem that we have in this? So my question is, what is your opinion on this, and how do we deal with this problem?
Yeah,
and the same will go for kizomba. Any of you two can answer that after.
Yeah, I think it's very important that this message goes around, and I would say all sensual dancers, and I think they do from what I've learned from others as well. I think everyone does, that we need to understand that the dance is one thing, and what happens outside of the dance floor is something else. So one thing I noticed, if you see me dancing with someone very, very close, very intimate, and then maybe we get face to face, and then we're like this, and then we're moving our bodies at the same time and all of that, and then it looks like maybe we're about to kiss. But then if you stay until the very end of the dance, you will see that as soon as the dance finishes, I smile, I give a hug, and then I move on. It's just like an act. And this is something whenever because there's one class I think is probably my favorite, which is connection. It's a connection class. That's one of the things I explained from the very beginning, before I even get into, how to connect with your partner, the frame, like little tricks to get that connection. The very first thing I explain is that connection is on the dance floor. Whatever happens after is not because of the dance, or it's not because of that moment you had. The moment is reserved for the dance, because some people come here for very different reasons. Some people come to dance to make friends. Some people come to dance because they're stressed at work. Some people come to dance to find their future partner in love. Some people come to dance because they want to find someone for a couple of days. You know, there is so many different things. But then you have to understand that the dance is not the answer to all of that. It's going to help you. But whatever you do outside of the dance is really what is creating the difference in your life. Absolutely.
If I can just add something to that, I think with guys, one of the things that's really important is that is respecting the lady's space. You know, we don't. I always feel that when I go into a dance, I don't automatically dive into her space. You know, I let her invite me into her space. I think that's really important for guys. Don't just automatically assume. See, guys may watch you and they may think, oh, but see, where you're an artist, it's a whole different ball game. And for a guy who, you know, he hasn't been dancing a long time, and he may look at your style and try to follow it, and that's not going to work. You know, so the key thing in there, I think, is that it's just respecting each other's space and let the lady invite you into her space. You know, when I first dance with a lady, I always tend to hold her on an open arm and then let her in. If she wants to put her arm around my neck, that's her choice. You know, and I think that's really important. It's just recognizing and just not automatically invading a lady's space. You know, they like that, I think.
Yeah, I think I will cut this clip, put it on YouTube, and get 1 million views in one day.
Yeah, just to say what you were speaking about, for me, a gentleman is when you feel that the lady is uncomfortable with this proximity, because that can happen, and the gentleman feel that the lady is like, all you will feel, yes, because we have several ways of doing it. And for me, a gentleman is when he respect and he don't keep doing the thing. Sorry, my English is not very good looking, like Sally told, but it's okay. But when the man feel that the lady is not uncomfortable, a gentleman should do as you were saying, yes. But even us, we can also defend ourselves. But all the time, it's not only the guys, but as ladies, we need to be nice. Even when we are uncomfortable, and even you, I know, because I have an example here, that some ladies, they approach too much, and they invade the space of the guys also. But you have also tools. A gentleman is the one that can do that without being rude, in a nice way, because of course you guys also can feel that uncomfortable, yes? Then you need to do it, but in a nice way and with kindness. I love this word that I think it was you that used. The kindness, I think, is the love that we need to use in everything we do. The good things and the bad things, yes? With kindness we can do all the things in a very good way, in a good vibe way.
Ricardo, you mentioned that unfortunately there is not enough people here to hear this. We try to really provide the space, no classes at all, and at this point. But it feels like, what do you think? It's like, it feels like they are not interested to, either they're not interested to hear the message, or they think they know it all, or they know it all. So what is your opinion?
I think it's a mix of everything, and usually the ones that are present are the ones that already have awareness and would not have the need to be here, because those that have the need, they don't know that I have the need. So they will be impacted one day by a conversation, by a video, by something that maybe make him or her to think about that. But also, we should not stress with that. What you are doing is the best option. Focus on the things that we can control. So we are creating here an environment, a space to talk about it, and at least these people that are here will be impacted positively about the message, and in somehow they will also spread the message. So I already, for a long time, I stopped concerning about those that are not here. I like to talk, to touch the point, because like that I'm also planting a seed on these people's head that when they go outside they will be able to share. You should be there. It would be amazing if you would be there, talking with friends. So I think that is the most important. What Paula said, for me, it's also very important, because now we are in a generation of supposedly equity, equality, blah, 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 but in fact we are still struggling with that at least here in Europe, I don't talk about Africa or Eastern countries or going, that is much more complicated than here. But in somehow, ladies also have a lot of power in the hand. And they can use that power in the way that they want. And the word of a lady in a situation of conflict like this have much more power than the man situation. And this is also problematic. And ladies also should have this gentleman part on them. Although they are much more sensitive to suffer situations of uncomfort. Like we were saying here, as a man in the dance floor, I already felt like very invaded in my space, but we have an advantage. As we are in a leading position, we can create the situation in a smooth way, in a nicer way, without creating an awkward role there, to control it, to balance. For the ladies, it's much more complicated, and that's why we are here also talking about that. And as a gentleman, a characteristic that for me is very important to take in consideration is also the behave with other men. So it's important as a gentleman also to advise, to talk about it, to give tips like, look man, bro, what you made there, it was not correct. And in somehow also to educate and to help our community to grow in a positive way, as a gentleman, inspiring others to become in the same way. What you are talking about, that when you start dancing with the salsa was not the same, allow me to disagree, because I already started dancing at the year of 99, and there was no kizomba on the salsa scene, and it was exactly the same thing. So people that were outside of the dance, when they enter in the salsa club, they say, oh my God, this is like Evan, a guy. The guys dance with everybody, so they are stopped, and the lady arrived to ask to dance, so this is like paradise. So it's the same situation, but now inflated to the years and to the progression and to the open. Even for the kids nowadays, they are exposed to sexual behavior in a different way that we were when we were kids. Everything was much more taboo. Have advantages in one side, other side also it's more complicated because the awareness need to be there also. In terms of kizomba, there is, I want to talk with Tigre, because he have always on his speech this idea to do a joke, sexually speaking, about kizomba. And this don't help also to clean the image. That is not cool. And even yesterday, it happened that he was using the example of a final pose in a bachata show to make a comparison to sexual behavior in kizomba. So that don't help. And the ones that are leading the voice also need to take care about that. Kizomba, yes, you can have a lot of rubbing, but in bachata also, and in salsa also, in tango also. And sometimes it's not about the contact. Sometimes it's more about the eye contact. You can say much more just by looking to someone and the way that you look than by the place where you use your hands. And that is also important to take in consideration. It's very invasive the way that you can look. So, of course, you go to the native country in Angola, kizomba born in the family reunion. And if you see how they behave, it's completely different from when they go to the ghetto parties when only the young generations are there. So the behave, the connection, the amount of contact, it's completely different. There is a space for everything. And doesn't mean, like he was saying, that the fact that you are very intimacy in the way that you dance, that at the end of the dance you go to the room to do the continuation. It can happen or not, but most of the times doesn't happen. And even the ladies in the native place, they create that sexual tension. And sorry my French, if the guy in some situations don't have a hard-on, it means like that dance was not good. It's a cultural aspect that for us don't make sense because we didn't grow with that. We have different values, we have different approach to the body contact. So it's a role from the instructors, it's a role from the organizers, it's a role for a lot of people to take that in consideration, and sometimes don't looking only to what it sells. So a flyer can make the difference. A dark room can make the difference. A lot of different, an MC doing a speech can make a difference. So it's all about the way that we that have the power of the words, we present to the others. And naturally it will always happen. Sexual energy, that is a powerful energy that we should not put it on the side. It's very important in our dance community. It's very important. I'm in love with Paula, but I trade sexual energy with other people. And it can be with another man. So we are talking about energy. We are not talking about physical contact.
Physicality.
Okay? So that is my point.
I just wanted to add, so I completely agree with everything you all said, and also with Trevor, which is a very important thing, is that this connection that you see in the dance floor, this intimacy, it needs to be consensual. It's not the lead enforcing it on the girl, which is something I always say. It's a 50-50. We meet in the middle. If she doesn't come to the middle, it's okay. You go back to your space, and there's no problem with that. And I think what you're doing, Vlad, here is incredible. This is amazing. Such a great initiative. And then we can talk and mention things that maybe we think, like what you said about yesterday on the microphone us together, that maybe we think, oh, maybe not, that shouldn't be said. But then we now have a space where we can maybe mention that. And this is really good. So what we take is, okay, we have a class, and then we have a class that is a dance connection. We get the time to address that. And then there's a class of being intimacy in the right way, which is the one we're doing today. And things like this really help, and dance etiquette and all of this. The thing is, normally the people that come to the classes, normally, maybe there will be a few that they don't know that. Yeah, the main thing is we need to somehow pass a message to the people that come to the parties, because that's normally where the message is not very clear. People that come to the class in the classes, almost never you see behaviors of this, because on dance lessons you learn all of it. You don't only come to learn moves or technique or all of this. You also learn. You're socializing with other people. You're taking a class together. There's the opportunity to kind of share all this knowledge, but people that don't come to the class, or they come to a few and not necessarily these type of classes, which I believe they should be taught more often. Then if you never had it, and then you just learn a few moves, and then you just go for parties for the rest of the time, where are you going to hear the message? Especially in the few opportunities you hear a message is like that from last night. So I think somehow we need to, like you said, flyers, poster, maybe mention and it might sound repetitive, and some people might not get it the first or the second or the third time, but the more we repeat this especially in parties or during a show, or I think the better we can create a difference.
So as far as I understood, and I really like what you also said, and your further elaboration. I agree with everything you said. I especially like about the sexual energy and connection. As I understood it, it's not idea to castrate people and tell them, no, you should behave like robots. You should be embracing this energy that dance gives space to. However, it needs to be consensual. You need to be in control of yourself. So in that way, the energy can create it positive with the person that is consensually with yourself. So that is how I got, because if we take this energy, what do we have then? And I think a lot of people, we are human beings, we have this inside, and the dance help us investigate this energy. And all the dance is salsa in its own way, bachata in its own way, kizomba. So that is kind of, I really opened a little bit my space, because we don't want to kind of just take this energy away from our festivals, parties and everything, what we're doing. Trevor, please, you have been very silent, because it just kind of went through this. You had yesterday, so we'll have one more question for Trevor, and then I will open the question for the audience, because we are nearing the limit of the class, so prepare your questions. Ivona will have a microphone, so if you want, you just raise your hand, she will come with you. Trevor, yesterday was a gents talk. You had a nice talk with the guys. That was a more guy-related talk, and it was envisioned to share these experiences like, look guys, maybe you should pay attention. So how it went? What did the guys' feedback and so on?
Yeah, I thought the energy in there was absolutely fantastic, and I thought the guys really embraced it really well. And it's incredible how people look at things so differently and people embrace things so differently. I mean, I think the reason why the numbers are down here today, I think it's just communication. Communication breaks down. World wars start through bad communication. And I think, I was speaking to some people today and they were saying to me, oh, is it men only? See, so how we communicate things and how people embrace communication, we all embrace it so differently, hence why the numbers are down today. I just think it's the communication.
I really liked your example when you said, for example, when you're tired and you cannot dance.
Yeah.
So that really, well, we were Trevor and also with Ricardo and Paula, I had a pre-talk. Roger, I would have loved to have a pre-talk with you, but I understood you were...
one of the things I was saying...
Yes, and Trevor was saying something that also kind of opened my eyes, and basically the reason, you know, a lot of people tell me for Trevor, guys tell me, look, he's a true gentleman. Girls, when they leave the message under his Facebook post, oh, this is a topic for you, when you were left that you will be in the panel, some girls, oh, yes, you are true, you should be there. And then we talked, and then although I understood, I understand now more. And about Trevor, he told me certain things, like he said, you embody with time and it becomes standard of your behavior. You don't think about it and you assume it's the standard everybody have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which eventually is not so. That's why also this talk. So please tell us this example or any other you want. It's simple but effective.
Yeah, it was just something one of the things we were discussing yesterday was that obviously nobody likes rejection. It's, you know, nobody likes it. And we have to try and just embrace people how we'd like to be embraced ourselves. You know, so one of the things we were talking about was that sometimes now a lady may walk across the dance floor to ask you to dance. It happens yesterday. I see people, and sometimes there could be a reason why you just can't dance with her, because like sometimes I tend to always bring my towel and everything with me because I like to freshen up and my aftershave. And yesterday I was dancing for ages with someone, and then I'm totally sweaty, and so a lady walks across the floor and asks you to dance. And I was saying to the guys yesterday, now I can't dance with her now because I'm soaking wet, and so, but the thing is, she's walked right across the dance floor. So I was saying to the guys, listen, you're going to have to embrace her and walk her back out and say, look, just come with me for a second, and just walk her back across the dance floor, because you can't let her walk all the way back across on her own, you know. So I just think that's really essential to do that, you know, for guys. You know, that's what a gentleman would do for me. You know, so something like that. It's a little thing, but it's extremely important to a lady.
I feel we could talk about the subject a lot. However, I think we need to give the voice to the audience. Thank you for being patient with us through all this. So, is there any? I know their topic. We can discuss this a lot, but feel free to ask. Raise your hand and ask any questions. Don't be shy.
One of the things that yesterday was brought up was the reciprocation of this gentleman and gentle people like. And also, guys also respect that behavior and expect that sort of reciprocation. And in terms of rejections, one thing that I said, when I was a beginner, 3 rejections in a row, and the night was over for me, and I left. And again, I'm choosing my words very carefully, and I think that message goes out. Even last night, I had a few rejections, which is fine, and I think just say no, thank you. That's enough. Thank you for the invite, or something like that. But saying that, you know, I'm tired now, and then 10 seconds later dancing with somebody else, or you know, just looking away, not even replying a no or something. I think it doesn't cut it. So basically, in a way, it wasn't a question. Maybe it was a request. Sort of, that's a reciprocation of that.
Who wants to take this one?
And can I just want to say,
Yeah.
I'm a confident guy. I mean, after all these years, I love it, and I come back to these events, and I have a wonderful time. And I actually, one of the messages that I took from your ball, you put those messages out there. Yeah. The one that I took yesterday was only choose to look at the good things. And I kept that in my head all night last night. And
the happy thoughts ball.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But not every guy is like that. Yeah. So, and we have a duty of care for the beginners. Basically, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, thank you for your question, because for me, I had the invitation from Vladimir for being here, but for me, I think in our days, ladies need more to have this kind of sensibility and communication. I think is that thing. We need to share our ways of behaving on the dance floor. And because of so many things of the sexo fraco, so many things about the feminine or the ladies being the weak part, make the gentleman or the men, the guys, putting us, like taking care of us, and make some of us being like, now I can do whatever I want because I'm like this, yes? That's why I'm very flexible. I don't like to have standards and rules. I think it depends of the situation, it depends of the person. And in this case, I hate when this happens. And it's in my way, or it's my responsible, in my case, I feel, to pass that to the ladies. My concern is not pass the info to the men, is to the ladies. That kindness that we need to have. And I know that happened and it hurts me when I see a guy inviting a lady and the lady saying no. Or the opposite. For me, you understand, is one of the worst things that we have, yes? And yesterday I can share with you that happened something with me that was not good, but I need to say no to an invitation. But I felt so bad, and I had the need, I thought, I need to go to say something to that guy. But he was very drunk in the party, and I was like, no.
So guy's fault again. Okay, that doesn't help.
No, wait. No. I saw him, and he was with another guy, and I saw, these guys are here, but they are not from the community. But they have, I looked to and they have the bracelet. And I was, oh my gosh, and I was like this. It came in my direction. Oh my gosh, okay. But I was like, I say yes, I say no, I say okay, I will say yes. And to be gentle, yes? Because we can marcar alguém. We can influence life of a person forever in a bad way. Then we need to take care, like you share with us, yes? Three no's in a row, yes. It's like, oh my gosh. Then I need to take care. I know he was drunk. I know maybe he's not going to remember, but okay, I will go. But then he starts with his arms up and, hey, you need to lead me. And okay, you will lead. I will not lead. Okay, then he put his hand on my butt. But I know it wasn't on purpose. I know it was because he was not controlling his body. And we need to understand that. I was not being, oh my gosh. I was not, my concern was not to being rude with him. But I will not put myself in the position of dancing with him. But with kindness, yes? I wanted to go to enter with him and to speak, look, I'm sorry, but to say no to you, but you will not remember. then I forgot that. But it was in my mind till now, that if I saw the guy, maybe I will go to him. To not happen that you were telling about. And he put his hand on my butt, but I know it wasn't on purpose. I need to have empathy. I know he was drunk, okay, he was having fun, okay, but I will not be rude with him. But I will not put myself on that position, yes? And I think the sharing that I can pass to the ladies is that how we can do the things without being rude and without being like this, and taking care also with the guys that come to invite us, yes?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please, question. Question here? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to add something regarding the communication. I think it's also very important. And I just wanted to say that I personally don't expect the leader to know what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. I just want to say it's totally fine to ask if a move is okay, if it feels comfortable. Like, I know talking during a dance is maybe not always the best thing. Like, maybe don't talk during the whole dance. But if you're unsure how the lady feels or the follow in general, like, yeah, just ask. Like, also for follows can obviously also ask the leader if something feels okay. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you for sharing this with us.
Yes, thank you for this discussion. I think it's so important. Thank you for organizing that.
Thank you. Somebody else? Yeah, now we're getting started. Okay, the ice is... sorry, Trevor, you wanted to...
Yeah, something I just wanted to add there. It is a lady's prerogative to say no, and, same with the guys as well. But, if someone doesn't feel comfortable to dance with someone, that's their choice, and you can't take that away from them. So that should not be a problem. Many a time the lady said to me, "Oh, no, thank you." Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's her choice.
No, good to know. Good to know. Good to get this out. Please, I forgot to ask the lady and the guy. Just say your name also, and maybe then ask. Yes.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I know some ladies who hate gentlemen, who really hate the concept of gentlemen because they think that it's sexist. That it's sexist if on the Titanic, ladies and children first, gentlemen later, and they want to be equal, and they want to be treated equal. They want to go on the dangerous side of the road. They want to open the door that the gentleman go through. And the question is, if you see this, how can you evolve the if you see this, if you perceive that you have a lady that is more or less a true feminist who wants to be equal, how can you evolve the concept of gentleman to give it to this kind of culture?
I see Trevor wants to add, but we can also pass it to Roger.
Just a quick one with that is that the dance world, okay, it's quite a unique world because you have people from all different colours, all different religions, and yet there's no prejudice at all in the dance world. You have people, young, age, nothing, religion, colour, everybody embraces everybody as one. And that's what makes the dance world so unique, and that's what gives it that unique energy. So, and with regards to what you were saying there, we can only focus and address the majority more than the minority. I mean, what you were saying there, that's great, and that does exist, but it is more of a minority. So, we can't. It's impossible to address every single situation. But we can address the majority. And I think that's what our target is.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably the majority. But what you're saying is so true, especially nowadays. Not everyone likes the gentleman. Not everyone likes the nice guy. And in fact, most of the dances I have where there's a lot of sexual energy is with this type of ladies. The ladies, they want to take control, and then all of a sudden they grab you, and then it's like, and then so we adapt, right? So I adapt, and then normally if you see a dance that is looking over the sensual bachata line, it's probably the girl initiated that. And then we're here to share experience, so then I can enjoy that. And then not only in dance, but in general, that happens as well. If I feel that, then okay, then let's be equal. Let's all, let's both be like, there's no roles, there's no gender roles, or if you want to call it. So I think it's important to address the majority, and then when there is a minority part, then we can adapt, and then that's what I tend to do, and it's often fun as well. So, but it's important that we recognize the difference between this. Now, the one thing that is in common, I think no one, but I might be wrong, but in my humble opinion, I think no one likes to be disrespected, right? So maybe the ladies, these ladies, they don't like a gentleman, but I'm sure they like to be respected. So I think that's probably where we can put the focus on. Okay, I don't have to be a gentleman with this lady, but I still need to respect her as a person. So maybe
it all depends what gentleman means for that lady or for something. Exactly. So that's what we talk about. But thank you for a question. This will be obviously we need a lot of panels. Please, another question. Yes.
Hello, I'm Tomislav, and I'm dancing for 5 or 6 years, and I think this topic is very important, and it needs to be spoken about on many occasions. But also, I want to share one thing from the guy perspective. Most of the parties and the festivals I went, men are minority. Sometimes it's very, very big difference. Sometimes it's one guy to 2 girls or 3 girls. So, but also the girls expect to have fun, but guys also expect to have fun too. And at one of those festivals, I had a good fun of just chilling around. Most of the time, I was having fun just looking around, seeing the dance floor, and some chatting with some girls or guys, and that part of the social dance should be also be considered, because we are human too. We are gentlemen, but we are dancers, but we are human.
So the question, it's not a question, it's more of a, yeah, I understand. No, I completely agree. What you want, actually, if I understood well, what you said, that our gathering here, it's about the dancing, but the dancing is more of a platform that connects us, but there's much more around it. And I think Roger said also be a gentleman at the dance floor, but also there's much more than just being a good dancer. The gentleman is all that we talk about. So thank you for this. Unfortunately, we need to finish this talk. I think we're just getting started.
Wait, we have one question live.
Really quick.
From Instagram. From Instagram. Yes. How is the policy of SeaSunSalsa on boundary crossing behavior?
The policy of SeaSunSalsa is to talk about the positive behaviors, to raise awareness about that we need to get better ourselves and need to appreciate others. And actually that is the message I wanted to finish with, that I have a confession to make, that we from the panels came to speak with you, not to you. And to prove that we are also human beings, I want a confession to make. One thing that I need to make myself better, and I will ask you to do it quick. So we are all humans, we all make mistakes, but we all need to try. So that is a policy. We all need to try to work on ourselves, to make ourselves good in our eyes, and to be kind to another. One of the things that I just thought was I was late for the meeting with Trevor. And that happens to me, not too much, but I don't have sometimes excuse. I was late, and I will try to be less late in the future for some meetings. And actually,
but it's all about the communication. You kept communicating to me the whole time.
Yes, I did. Still, I need to work on this, and I think if we are always aware that we are good, but we are not perfect in a way that we all have space to grow, and we need to be open for improvements, then that is a policy that will lead us to somewhere. So that is kind of a task that we all, dancing-wise or not dancing-wise, need to have for ourselves. So really quick, to prove that we are human beings, say something about yourself, some flaw or something that you feel that you need to improve, or you're perfect as you I mean, you are perfect as you are, but what you would like you strive for to be like?
I need to improve my kindness, for sure. Kindness and flexibility. It's one of the things that I try to pick up. It's one of the things that I love more when I see people, and when I see examples of people like Trevor, the things that he shared, I get, okay, I need to improve my kindness and my flexibility to accept my empathy. I need to be more empathic with the people.
Thank you.
And one thing is, I think this is for all, but for me, that I try to work, we need to be to have the same behavior when we are with people and when we are alone. Yes, because sometimes we are like with a mask when we are with people, and when we are alone, we are in a different way. Then that's why I need to improve my empathy, my kindness, and my flexibility, because when I'm alone, sometimes I'm not so much. Yes, when I'm with Ricardo.
And this is not the prepared question.
No.
So thank you.
I need to improve my patience. Because as I'm so proactive and I do the things so much in my own timing that I expect that everybody do the same. And it's impossible. So it's something that I'm better. I'm improving that. But I still need to improve my patience to give the space to others do the things on their timings without stressing about that, because the only person that goes badly at that situation would be myself and the people around me because of that lack of patience. So patience is the word for this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me that when I'm on the dance floor sometimes I can get so carried away, and you can end up dancing with someone and they've got such a lovely connection, you don't let go, you know, and so I think that's one of the things I need to do sometimes is like...
Boundaries, huh?
It's so easily done, because as humans, our nature is like, we love to be embraced, and we love a great, nice, warm connection. So that's one of the things for me. But as I say, the main thing is to remember that we have an amazing environment, you know. There's, you know, this salsa, the dance world, does not distinguish age, race, religion. It doesn't distinguish, and that's what makes it so unique for all of us, and that's why we love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think I have many things to improve on. Yeah, I could make a list, but I'm just going to pick one. So
really quick, because we need to do.
Yes. So I think appreciating people's time is something that just because sometimes I'm very busy most of the time, then I don't appreciate the time that maybe some people put into sharing that time with me. That's something I need to improve on, and I need to be more mindful of that.
Thank you. I think we share this for sure common. That has a timing, and timing-wise, I already took. We really have 10 minutes. Classes didn't start. Over 10. So my apologies to you guys that we took you so long. We took your time from workshops. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate the great panel that we here. And I hope you like the message we are spreading, and I wish you to enjoy the rest of the festival. Thank you very much for coming.